All right, what's good? It's your boy Season. We live with the show, man. Week 7, man. Week 7. This might be the biggest college football Saturday we ever had in our lives, man. And I ain't even joking, man. We got some big time games today. Man, we can't wait to jump into it. Um, Holy cow, bro! Week 7, bro. We locked in. Um, as always, we give you the best pregame show you could get around, man. So we appreciate everyone who tunes in and checks us out, man. We got some good hype. We got some good analysis. We ready to go, bro. It's gonna be a good show today. Let me bring in my first co-host, my boy CFB Talk.
What's up, man?
Yes, sir, man. I'm ready to go, dog. Holy shit, week 7, dog. Week 7.
Yeah, man. I'm hyped, man. We got some big games today. Texas,
Do
Oklahoma,
we? Do we, bro? Man, we got
huge
some
ones.
huge ones, bro. Some man, some are saying this might be the biggest week, biggest college football week we ever had.
Yeah, I think so. It's this.
That's
I don't think there's been this many good games on
no,
in
like
this week.
the hype's gonna be
Yeah,
unreal today. I don't think you're gonna see much bigger hype than this.
no, I'm definitely not. Not with this many games.
Yeah, the slate is crazy. Um,
Yeah, I feel sorry for anybody that's got a wedding they gotta go to. That
I,
would
I
suck.
I don't understand people who schedule weddings in the fall, bro. That's so
Me
stupid.
neither.
Like,
Me neither. I ain't going to it.
yeah, bro, we got college football, G. We got
I
college
done
football,
told.
man.
I done told both my daughters it ain't happening. They better. They better get married. Not in the fall.
Hey, Heisman talk for week 7, G. Hey,
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, Ashton Jenny.
Yeah,
Travis Hunter, Ashton Jenny.
that's really to me that's the top two right there.
Oh yeah, they're starting to run away with it. They're
Yeah,
starting to run
both
away
of
with
them are.
it. Yeah, they both have really great. Travis Hunter got a phenomenal opportunity tonight on prime
Hmm.
time. On prime
Yeah,
time, yeah. You seen the Ashton Jenny when he stands like Michael Myers?
yeah, yeah. He's man. That kid there is a beast.
Man,
He,
I want to find it, man. Look,
yeah,
yeah, that shit's scary for defenses,
it
bro.
is. It
Man,
is.
you seen the stat where he rushed for like 30 times against a 8-man box. Man,
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. I saw that. It's stupid. It
yeah,
is stupid.
my boy like Michael Myers in the backfield.
Yeah,
Man, I tell you
yeah.
what, what's up?
No, he has a real opportunity to jump up to number one too. He's so good, man. Just so good.
Yeah, man. I'm uh I'm curious to see, man. I'm curious to see how Vanderbilt is going to respond. Vanderbilt, I want to see some consistency out of Vanderbilt.
They've got to win. This is a must win for them after beating Alabama. You got to win this game.
I think so too. I think so too. If you want to control any aspects of your season, it's so important for both programs right here.
Yeah,
Kentucky too. Kentucky needs this one bad. They coming off a bye, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, and you need to. It would that you need to show everybody the Bama game wasn't a fluke, even though I don't think it was a fluke, win or lose. But um, they've got to show everybody, you know, they can keep it moving.
And then I mean not Vanderbilt, Alabama on the other hand, they get South Carolina. So
Yeah,
they're gonna be playing pretty angry today. Alabama, I think, looking to fix their defense against a broken pass offense right now for South Carolina. That's a perfect opportunity, perfect team to get back on track. I think for Alabama today. I think they win pretty handily.
yeah, I feel bad for South Carolina. I
Yeah,
think Alabama's going to put it on
yeah, I think so too. Might get a little. It's gonna get ugly probably.
them. Yeah, definitely.
Kalen DeBoer's probably coached his ass off all week. Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
Think he's gonna wear a polo today.
it's at Alabama too, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh
Have
shit,
you
it's at Alabama.
have you seen
Yeah,
that?
what's up?
Have, have you seen that stuff about The Bama fans get mad that he ain't wearing a polo now. That he's been wearing t-shirts on the sideline.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, right. He's wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Boy needs to tighten up a little bit, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, there's
Man, how about Clemson, bro? We haven't been talking about them lately.
yeah, I'm telling you, I've
They
been
starting
impressed with them.
Yeah, Klubnik's. One thing I noticed with Clemson is that they starting to have a clean pocket for Klubnik. The offense is starting to gel and starting to put it together more confidently and more explosively. Clemson's starting to take more control now. I think. What do you think about this Wake Forest game? You think they blow out Wake Forest?
I think so. I think it'll be very similar to what they've done. Ever since after the Georgia game.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to keep going along. I've been super impressed with them. They've looked so much better on the offensive side of the ball.
This is at This is at Clemson.
I believe it is. I'm not 100% sure.
I like our 11 a.m. slate this today.
Actually, it's at Wake Forest.
Is that Wake Forest?
Yeah, because I seen Wake Forest tweeted out that it was a sold out game.
What's up, Boot? Boot joined the show, yes sir.
Yeah, I think he.
Hey y'all, how's it going?
What's up, Boot, man? Hey, week 3, man. We got a big one.
Sorry, my computer was going so slow this morning. It took me like 10 minutes to just pull the link up.
Yeah.
But what's some other games other than the ones that we're talking about you looking forward to?
Man, I think Missouri is gonna slap UMass, bro. That's gonna get ugly. Missouri, they about to take it out on Missouri.
Yeah, I think that one's gonna get real ugly.
That's funny, man. What a schedule! What a schedule! Missouri's going to UMass. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. That is really weird.
Wait, okay, so this is gonna be my hot take for the show. Maybe it's like a non-game related thing. Hold on, y'all give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna come talk about this UMass thing.
Okay.
All right. What's some other ones?
How you feel about Stanford, Notre Dame?
I think Notre Dame's gonna destroy them.
Yeah.
Stanford's really bad. That Cal Pitt game is interesting.
Yeah. Cal Pitt.
Yeah.
Cal's been playing pretty well this year.
Think any chance some Billy can beat them Vols?
No, I'm going Tennessee.
Yeah, I think I'll go Tennessee. I could see Florida winning it, but I don't. They'd have to muck it up.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's going to clean up. Once you get a loss, you got to tighten up.
Yeah,
you can't hide behind you can hide behind stuff when you're winning, but once you get an L, it's like, oh shit, time to react. I think Tennessee. That's going to be Tennessee. They're going to clean up and handle Florida.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so what I was gonna say was, so I'm also a little behind on my notes. I'm taking my notes right now too for the games we're gonna pick later. But what I was gonna say was, I think we should have more Power 5 at G5 games. Maybe not UMass, not to disrespect UMass, but maybe a little bigger stadium, things like that. But I think we should have more because, I mean, I see it on Twitter all the time. A lot of they're Power 5 fans. Like one in particular was a Georgia fan I was talking about, not to like pick on Georgia or anything. But he was complaining. He's like, I want to pay for season tickets, but I don't want to pay for the game against, whatever, group of 5 team or FCS team they play. So what they should do is go play, don't go play like Georgia State where it's in state and they're going to take over the stadium. Go play like Fresno State. Like Georgia should go play Fresno State on the road and have that be their road game, and then they get to add, because they're already talking. The SEC and Big Ten are talking about doing some scheduling stuff. So then now they're going to get to host, Penn State or something like that. So they get an extra big game at home. That's what the fans want to pay for anyway. You still get the game, the FBS game, but now they get it at home, so they get their fans excited. So now both fan bases are happy because they get good home games. I think we should have more Power 5 at G5 games.
I agree with you on that. That would be pretty
I
cool.
do too.
I think it'd be awesome.
I would love to see like Georgia goes to App State or something.
Especially with the teams with the bigger stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to pick on UMass, but I think their stadium holds like 17 or 18,000.
I agree, though. I agree. The teams
probably need to try to get something a little bigger, let's say at least in the 20s. And then I think it also depends on the distance too. Like I was saying, I wouldn't send Georgia to Georgia State because they're going to take over the stadium. Or Georgia Southern, something like that. But you could send, you could maybe do App State because App State's going to sell they're going to sell their allotment anyway. They have, sell out their game all the time. So you can maybe do something like that. And it's close enough to make it interesting and fun, but farther enough to, stop just the takeover of the stadium.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. As a Georgia fan, I'd love that. That would be really cool.
So that's my hot take on the Power 5 at G5 games.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I love the G5. I love the App States and all that, and it would be really cool to start seeing more power programs go there and play them. I think it's cool that Missouri's going to UMass, even though UMass isn't. They're a really bad team. Yeah,
UMass is not doing too great this year. Let's see. I've got it projected at 2.3 wins by the time the season's done. So not a strong one. I got them 30-point underdogs today, so at home. So
man, this West Virginia Iowa State's a little low key matchup. Not too many people was talking about this week.
So that's a huge game.
Agreed. Huge game.
West Virginia's pulling out these Coal Rush blackout uniforms.
Let's go.
No, Iowa State's in line to play in the Big 12 championship as is.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, heading to West Virginia, playing on the road, tough game, tough place to play. So definitely I think in a certain sense under the radar.
Is Iowa State
only because maybe West Virginia's record is probably the only reason they're under the radar.
Yeah. What time is that one? 3:30, right?
8 Eastern on Fox.
Oh man, I wish we got to figure out how to spread the schedule around in college football, man.
They got so many.
I know that we want the good games at night, but can we put somebody at 3:30?
Yeah. So West Virginia is 3-2, right?
Yes, I think so.
Iowa State's 5-0.
Yeah, I know Iowa State hasn't lost yet.
I wonder who's West Virginia's 2 losses.
Penn State and I don't know who the other one is. I think it's this one. I think it was Penn State and maybe Pitt.
Pitt beat them by 4.
Yeah,
that's it.
Pitt goes play Colorado. Colorado. He plays California today.
That's a low-key big one.
Yeah, that's a big one too. Pitt's off to a great start, having a great season. I feel like they haven't gotten as much attention. Probably partially because of who they played. Whereas we talked about West Virginia hasn't got attention because of their record. Then on the other end, Pitt hasn't got as much attention because of who they played. Also feel like the Big 12 in general, outside of Miami, hasn't been getting a lot of attention. A lot of the attention Miami's getting isn't good because of some controversial calls late in the games.
Yeah.
But Clemson's kind of, been slipping under the radar. I feel like I think Clemson's still a very solid team. They've been kind of slipping under the radar, but they hadn't played anyone too exciting. I know y'all were talking about them like right when I hopped on, talking about them playing Wake Forest.
Yeah,
I think Clemson their offense should roll, and I think they kind of run away with this thing. I've got them by 17 points, but I think it's one of those things where they're up like 14 at halftime, and then it just kind of, maybe not 14 at halftime. Let's go 10 at halftime, and then it just kind of, stays about the same. And Clemson punches another one in, late third quarter, something like that.
According to our boy Bus, who couldn't make the show today, Cal leads the nation in interceptions. It's one of his matchups to watch today. Eli Holston versus Cal D.
Eli Holston, he's starting to put Pitt on the map a little bit. He's been balling out a lot.
Holston. Bus. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Holston, I think is was put Pitt on the map this year. Right now, it's just QB play.
Yeah, definitely. I remember me and Bus was talking about it on Tuesday's show. I never thought in my life I'd see Pitt with Patton and Doozy having that kind of offense. I didn't think he would ever actually let go and bring that kind of offense in. We'll see if he keeps it going, but it looks good. It's explosive. It's unique. It's fun. Things I never thought I would say at Pitt football.
I like Pitt's program.
I do too.
It's a respectable program.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Mississippi State, Georgia. We didn't talk about Georgia today.
That to me, that game right there is I was just talking to a buddy about this last night, one of my best friends. That game is a get right game for Georgia, and it's going to be an opportunity for me as a Georgia fan. Because Mississippi State's bad. That's a bad football team.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't see Georgia starting fast, winning on first and second downs, Carson Beck looking good, being more explosive, I'm going to start to assume Georgia is who they are, and they're a really good football team, but just not a national championship caliber team if I don't see them just absolutely, get right in this game is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to be really concerned if I still see some of the same things I've been seeing all year against Mississippi State, because Mississippi State's really bad. There's no excuse for this game not to be, a get right game. That's really just my thoughts on it.
Man,
yeah, they need to come out and execute perfectly. Don't make mistakes. Don't turn the ball over. Don't limit penalties, things like that. Georgia needs to just play their disciplined style of football and go out and win the game.
Yep. Because next week we got a big one.
Basically, make sure there's nothing to talk about after the game.
Get out there healthy too. That's another thing. Get out there healthy today. With a big matchup looming. Go handle your business. Get out of there clean.
Yep. And it's got to help. I mean, I don't think it helps a lot, but it's got to help that Georgia's, playing Mississippi State and Texas is having to play Oklahoma.
Man, we got some big games, bro. I can't wait to jump into the big ones.
Yeah, it's a massive week, man.
Yeah, definitely a very exciting week ahead. Let's see. Do we want to start jumping into some of them?
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yep, let's get it. You want to go Texas, Oklahoma?
Oh, sorry. Which one y'all want to start with? Let's start with OU Texas.
Yeah, I'm down. So me and Season was talking earlier. This is one of those games you can truly throw all the records out. It's there's been plenty of years where Texas has gone into the game being, the better team and losing. That to me, that was last year. And then there's been times when Oklahoma has gone in the better team and lost. It's just one of those games where you can truly, truly throw the records out. This year I have a hard time that being one of those years. I think Oklahoma is just super bad on offense. The only way I could see Oklahoma win this game is really just like just mucking it up, like creating turnovers, keeping Texas offense on the sideline, going slow, running the ball. And I don't see that happening. I just think Texas is going to win. I think they're going to win big. I am curious to see how Texas offense does against a better defense. This will kind of be their like first major test. So I think it'll be a good test for them. Oklahoma's defense is really, really good. But I don't know. I think Texas is going to win. They're favored by 14.5.
It kind of gives me similar vibes to whenever they played Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's going to be kind of like the same kind of game plan and attack they're going to have to hit Texas with.
Yeah, they're going to have to. Yeah, they're going to have to do it like that. And
tough task, that coaching staff.
Yeah. I agree. I think it looks a lot like the Tennessee game. I think it's like you were saying, kind of muck it up. I think there's going to be some messiness, get in the backfield, cause some trouble. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that Oklahoma has the offense to balance out their defense and match what they're going to need to match to beat Texas in this one.
Yeah, Oklahoma's offense is it's either 116th or 121 right now in total offense.
Yeah, and here's some of their numbers even in advance. They're dead last in success rate, 126th in passing success rate. They're 119th in explosive pass rate, and they're 128th in pass EPA. Just in case nobody knows, there's only 131 teams, I believe. So they're at the bottom.
Historically, in this, yeah, you're right. We should respect the rivalry historically. It shows that even whenever there is a kind of a worser team out of the two, that they still play each other tough. But man, for some reason, I'm getting some vibes that Texas might run away with this one today, dog. I just feel like it's different. Yeah. The offense is just, I don't know, man. I know they had a bye week to clean it up a little bit. I don't think the offense is going to be able to keep up with Texas stuff.
Yeah, and I respect Venables a lot as a defensive coach, and him having a bye week. That's another thing about Texas that I did not realize, but they're not real explosive this year.
And we're getting Quinn Ewers back, man. That's another thing. I was starting to like Arch, man. I was hoping they were keeping Arch, but they're gonna go back to Ewers. That's another thing. What happens if they have a slow start with him? He's a little sluggish out the gate.
Do you risk switching him out?
I mean, that could keep Oklahoma in the game. If he comes in, throws a pick early and can't convert in the red zone, and because we know Oklahoma's defense has a fighting chance to at least keep it close, maybe in the first half.
Absolutely.
I think they can keep it close in the first half.
And then they got the quarterback Michael Hawkins. Is that his name? I think it's Michael Hawkins, but
the new guy
with his legs, a whole bye week to kind of game plan around him.
Yeah, create something new, and then Texas has limited, tape on him and things like that. So, there could be some potential there if you can figure out something on offense. But I think really that's gonna be the trick. I really like Oklahoma to stop Texas's run game, like pretty well. But like I was saying, I don't see how Oklahoma puts up enough offense because they're not going to stop Texas from scoring. Texas is going to get points on the board. They're going to get in the end zone. I think it'll be mostly through the air. I think that's where Texas is going to have to rely on this game. What I do find really interesting, my big matchup for this one is OU's a really good run stopping team and Texas is a really good running team. OU's a really good run stopping team, which usually sets them up in good shape to for third downs. And so they're really good on third downs getting stops. But Texas is really good. I mean, Texas is just good at moving the ball, man. They just don't get stopped. I think Oklahoma will cause some stops. But like Season was saying, I think there's such a range in this game where, so the spread, what you said, 14 or 14.5, something like that?
14.5.
14.5. My model's got it at 12, so a little closer. But I could very easily see a scenario where, Texas could score 28 and maybe Oklahoma gets 7, and now it's a 21-point game. I could easily see this going heavily in Texas's favor. I don't know if I consider that heavy, but you could even go further. I mean, it's very possible that I don't see Texas scoring 35 or 42, but if they're only going to give up 3 or 7, then even if it's 28-3, I mean, it's a blowout. If they're not letting Oklahoma cross midfield.
Yeah, the way that Oklahoma's offense is structured, it's going to feel like a beatdown, bro.
Yeah, if Oklahoma only gets in the red zone twice all game, if you break 21 points offensively for Texas, then it's a dominant game.
They're gonna have to do like some trick plays and shit, or them with some things like they've never seen on film. And,
Oklahoma's got to do something with the new quarterback and come out with something.
If I was Oklahoma with Hawkins' leg or whatever his name is, I would go during that bye week, watch Vanderbilt's offense and try to install some option stuff.
Yeah, so Jaden Blue, the back. That's one thing I want to see Texas run game in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Texas' run game, like you were saying, is I dropped my pen. Will be very. Well, I think that could be the determining factor. If Oklahoma can't slow down Texas running the ball enough, then Texas can run away with this thing. Because Texas is going to do a decent job passing the ball. I think that's a given. Decent job. I don't think it's going to be amazing because OU's got a good defense. I think it's going to be good enough. But if Oklahoma can't stop the run, like I said, I've got it at 12 points, but I've got Texas averaging 3.6 on the ground. If Texas comes out and they're averaging 4 on the ground or something like that, and they're getting halfway to the first down every time they run the ball, then there's I don't see any way Oklahoma competes in this thing. Yeah. So my pick is Texas. I don't see Oklahoma. I don't see Oklahoma figuring this one out enough. At least from anything we've seen. If there's something we haven't seen, I'll be excited to see it today. I hope it's a close one, at least for a while. Like I said, there's a chance Texas runs away with this thing, but it'd be nice if it's at least like 7-7 at halftime, and we want to keep it on in the second half. I don't want it to be like 17-0 at halftime. So I'm hoping this one stays close, but I'm going with Texas.
Yeah, I agree. I hope it's close, just for a good game for us fans. But
it's the first.
It could happen.
It's the first ever time they meet as a SEC program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of me kind of hopes it ain't close. I'm about tired of hearing about how that's already the best rivalry in the SEC.
Just come in and
just join this year.
You can't just come in and step on the SEC like that. No.
Yeah, get out of here.
It's a great rivalry for sure. I don't know if I'll put it in number one though.
Come on, we the league that has the Iron Bowl. Georgia, Florida, not Florida, Georgia. Do not call it that, people. And we got all these great rivalries, man. Y'all can't just come in here and say that shit.
Have some respect, man.
Yeah. No, those two fan bases fit in perfect with this league.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this will be a good test for Texas against a solid defense. I can get really an idea of where, how much has Texas dropped off from last year? Are they right back where they are? Things like that. Are they playoff caliber team?
My final thoughts. Yeah, my final thoughts for Texas. I'm gonna be locked in to see how they're doing on the ground today, and I'm gonna look at and defensively too. I want to see them up. I want to see them get after Oklahoma.
Okay, let's talk about. Y'all want to do K-State, Colorado?
That's you want to jump in? That's next. All right, let's get it. K-State, Colorado. It's at Colorado. What's the spread on this one?
I don't have the spread, but I got this one's a late night one. This one's 10:15 Eastern on ESPN.
This one's gonna be
Colorado.
Fun. This one's gonna be fun, man. I think the crowd's gonna show out. It's gonna be a good crowd. It's on national television. Perfect time for Travis Hunter to display his talents for the nation. I think he's gonna ball out tonight. Travis Hunter. He's gonna be a difference maker. I think Shadir Sanders is going to be a difference maker in this matchup too. The quarterback. And he's been balling, man. Man, Colorado could punch with the best of them. I feel like with this offense, they're going to be able to score on on the defense in this matchup. Um, Now the thing is, it's all going to come down to Colorado's rushing defense in this one. If they can stop K State's rushing attack, I think they're going to have a chance to win this one because K State's passing offense is not explosive at all. They got one cat that's pretty fast, number one wide receiver. But man, I really love Travis Hunter and Colorado secondary to lock up Kansas State in this one. Now, Kansas State's very creative with their rushing attack. They like to run Johnson, the quarterback. He's going to be a extension of the run game in this one with his legs. I'm nervous. I'm nervous Colorado doesn't stop the run. If Colorado doesn't stop the run, it's going to be a long day too for them, for their defense.
That's exactly what I think too. I think they got to find a way to stop the run.
Yeah, it all comes down to their run.
I've got Kansas State. If things go as expected, I got Kansas State looking real good on the ground. So Colorado's going to have to find a way to scheme against that.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm nervous for Colorado tonight. That scares me a little bit.
My other thing for Colorado, I think, was just their, they got to make sure they avoid negative plays, avoid turnovers. You got to start with that stuff, and if they want to be able to win this thing, especially if Kansas State is going to control the game on the ground, it'll be a little bit lower scoring maybe because they'll control time of possession. Colorado's might get one or two less possessions than than maybe they'd expect or typically would. So if one of those ends up being a turnover or a bad 12-yard sack or something because he tries rolling out and something like that, then it could really mess Colorado up there. I'll say Kansas State's defense, one of their big strengths is on third down. So Colorado's going to have to make sure to avoid third downs.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be less about converting third downs and more about avoiding them.
So I'm looking at Kansas State's wide receivers. I don't like this. I don't like their wide receivers against Colorado's secondary. Kansas State's wide receivers, their leading receivers only got 17 and 14 catches right now in the season.
Yeah,
that's not enough value, man. They're gonna strictly. I feel like their scheme today against Colorado is gonna be all on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're gonna focus on the ground game.
Yeah, so Colorado just got to lock in on that rushing defense, man. If they can stop the run, they're gonna win the game.
Yeah, I think so because Avery Johnson, we talked about it before the show, is I think he's disappointed me a lot as a passer. But like you said, if Colorado can stop the run, they have a big chance. The thing with Colorado's offense is to me it's like an all or nothing offense. Just look at the different results. They go to Nebraska, get destroyed. Their offense can't do nothing, and then they go to UCF, a game that most people picked them to lose, and they just absolutely destroyed UCF. Put up what 40 some odd points. So
yeah,
what offense are we going to get tonight? Are they going to hit the plays?
I think Shadur Sanders got 4 touchdowns tonight. 4 touchdowns.
And he has a big opportunity to jump in the discussion. This is a 10-15 game. It's what everybody's going to be watching after a long day of college football.
Yeah.
Only really big game left on the TV.
Travis Hunter is going to have to ball out tonight. I know he will.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I agree with pretty much everything y'all said. I'm gonna roll with Colorado. I think they're gonna pull it off though. I think Sanders is gonna have the game of his life tonight, and I just don't trust K-State when it comes to passing the ball.
Yeah. Man, I'm nervous for the Colorado's rushing defense. I hope they don't let me down tonight. But
yeah,
man, I'm going with Colorado too tonight.
And the line, by the way, you were asking is 3.5 K-State.
Kansas State's favorite.
Yeah, 3.5. So.
They got some interesting home dogs today. I'm gonna lie, they got some interesting home dogs.
Yeah,
I've got Kansas State minus 1.5, and I think I'm gonna lean with Kansas State. That's gonna be my pick. My model also has Kansas State's defense slowing down Colorado running the ball too.
Yeah,
I know we talked a lot about Kansas State's
interesting.
run game, but their run defense seems to be a good matchup here with Colorado's run game.
Colorado's gonna have to find some way to run the ball better than what they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Let's do Ole Miss LSU.
Man, Ole Miss LSU, bro. What 800 years of Death Valley? I'm gonna be at this game tonight, bro. This one's gonna be off the chain, sold out night game. Brian Kelly's 12-0 in night games right now in his career. I think LSU's going for 14, 15 in a row in Death Valley. This is really bad timing too, because this is the game every LSU fan circled. Man, everyone in the program circled this one, especially what happened last year. This is kind of bad blood a little bit with the players. You're about to see a really hungry and angry LSU team tonight. Now, as far as the coaching matchup that I'm really excited to see is going to be Lane Kiffin versus Blake Baker tonight. Man, you're going to see a lot of scheming up. You're going to see a lot of schemes. It's going to be fun to watch. Honestly, I think this game could be a shootout. Honestly, and like it could be one of those games where like who got the ball last or like who's kind of controlling the game in the fourth quarter. That's kind of like how I see the game script playing out. Man, I know there's going to be a side one, man. What y'all think about this Ole Miss LSU game?
So I did all this prep for Ole Miss LSU, and I was driving in my truck for work, listening to a podcast, and this guy gave out this stat, and I was leaning Ole Miss. I'm gonna be honest, I was leaning Ole Miss. Everything I had researched and all that, I was like, you know what? I really think Ole Miss is just a better team. I think they're gonna win. You know, da 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 da. And then I found this stat that this guy gave on the radio, and you can see right here. See how all these notes on all the other games.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see them. I have just this little bitty note
hit it.
On this game.
Yeah.
And before this, I was leaning Ole Miss. Since Nick Saban arrived at LSU in 2000, LSU has been 108 and 15 in night games.
Yeah.
In this series, the home team is 10-2 in the last 12. Give me them Tigers.
Yep. Lane Kiffin never won in Death Valley. Ole Miss hasn't won in Death Valley since 08 maybe. Or no, hold up. It's been I can't remember last year they actually won in Death Valley, but it's been a while. Yeah, you're gonna see some stadium magic tonight. It's just something about that stadium at night, bro. It's so hard to play, bro.
Yeah, like I said, I had done a lot of research. I really was gonna pick Ole Miss. I thought just statistically, I thought Ole Miss was better. But look, we got Death Valley at night. That place has some magic. There's voodoo. There's voodoo stuff under the stadium.
It's gonna take
Jesus going to the game.
Yeah, I'm going to get. It's going to take a perfect game, man, for Ole Miss to win. I feel like it's going to take.
And I think this is the night we're finally going to get season streaking at the end of the game.
Yeah,
I
think it's going to be a wild game. I think it's going to be a great one. I think ultimately, I think the pressure is on both quarterbacks to perform well, not make mistakes. I really like Ole Miss's pass defense. And I'm not in love with LSU's rush offense. And I think that's where things could start to get a little messy if Ole Miss can find some ways to basically force LSU to run the ball a little more. Basically saying, look, we're not going to let you throw 50 times a game without causing some trouble. To try to make LSU run the ball, I think is what Ole Miss needs to do. On the other side, LSU's third down defense, I think, is one of their bigger improvements over last year's defense. Overall, their defense is better. But they're really good at getting stops on third downs. Now, the question is getting to the third down is part of the problem. And then LSU's got a good pass defense that should counter Dart and that Ole Miss offense. The model likes LSU by 1.4 at home at night. The model doesn't know it's nighttime. Maybe I could bake that. Maybe I can bake that in for next season.
Factor that in a little bit.
Bake that in for next season that it's a night game.
So both teams are dealing with some injuries too.
Yeah, dealing with injuries.
Did you see the Trey Harris stuff?
Was he playing?
Is Harris playing?
It's
He moved
trending
up.
towards him playing.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what I
I
thought.
saw.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with, I guess, quote unquote, the upset here. I'm going to take Ole Miss on the road in Baton Rouge. I think, but here's the question. I think Ole Miss is the better team. I've got Ole Miss 9 and LSU 10 in my power ratings. I think Ole Miss is the better team, but I think from LSU at this point, I'm kind of thinking we've seen what we've seen from LSU. Like, I think we have an idea of who LSU is. I think Ole Miss is a little more unknown because I think they've played some, not even necessarily, I mean, there have been some games where they hadn't played great and some games where they had played great. And there's kind of a wider spectrum of things. I think they're a little more chaotic in terms of things like that. So I think we know what we're to see from LSU. The question is, which Ole Miss team are we going to see? Yeah, I'm going to go Ole Miss in this one. I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's a toss-up game, and it's probably who has the ball last.
It could be. I can see it being a shootout for sure.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's going to be a shootout per se. I don't expect 40, 50 points.
No, well,
I'm
in
thinking
the 30s could still be a shootout.
Yeah, 30s can still be a shootout. It's probably going to be like 31-28, something like that.
One thing, Ole Miss's offensive line doesn't really scare me too much. I think LSU's front box and front 7 is going to hit home at times tonight. Blake Baker's going to dial up some blitzes here and there. He's going to find ways to get pressure on Dart. Dart's been getting hit hard too this year. Dart's vulnerable. I'm telling you, Dart's vulnerable, and that crowd noise is going to be crazy on third downs. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Dart tonight.
See, my model's got
now.
So it's, okay, kind of like we were saying. I think the pressure's on the quarterbacks. It's got Ole Miss throwing for 8.8 through the air per attempt. LSU 8.3 per attempt. Both kind of average rushing. One key thing is both doing really well on early downs, avoiding third downs. I think that's a big key in this one. And then it does have LSU being a little more better at getting in the backfield, causing some tackle for losses, sacks, like you were just saying, that, talking about Ole Miss's offensive line. So I think that's kind of where, I think
an offense
avoidance question is the big question on this one. It's not as much going to be as much about converting third downs. It's going to be about avoiding third downs. And if LSU can get in the backfield, and cause a 2nd and 15 or something like that, then that could force Ole Miss into third down situations, and I think that wins LSU the game if that all happens. I think, basically in a lot of ways with that, even taking into account that tackle for loss number, my model has Ole Miss outpacing LSU in yards per play, per attempt, and per rush, and the per rush would include the negative numbers from the losses. I'm going Ole Miss, like I said, going Ole Miss in this one, but like by a field goal. Like this,
it's gonna be close.
Yeah.
Yes, Pete Thamel news. Ole Miss star defensive end. I'm not even going to attempt to say his name. Princely.
Yeah.
Is a game time decision against LSU today. He'll warm up, and a decision will be made if he can play.
Both teams are dealing with some injuries, and this one's going to be you won't get your typical full strength lineup here tonight.
Yes, that could help LSU's offense out a little bit, maybe in the run game.
Caden Durham, though, bro. Wait, I know he kind of shaking up a little bit with a little foot injury last week or two weeks ago because of the bye. But man, Caden Durham, that boy, he got a pop in him. He's tough. He's tough to tackle. What's the next game?
USC Penn State.
USC Penn State. Hey, so y'all seen the record where 1-8 East and West Coast traveling?
Yeah.
So, and Lincoln Riley, man, he's what? He lost 7 out of his last 12, correct?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's like 8 out of 12 or 7 out of 12.
Yeah,
So.
man, he got a tough task right now, Riley, to get his team refocused. And like, man, they've been having a tough schedule all year. USC, them
Mhm.
and now they got big bad Penn State coming to town. You already know the fans won't be at this game. They won't. They won't get the fan support out there in USC. It won't be no sellout or anything. So they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to be up for this one. You think Lincoln Riley got them focused this week?
I think they'll be focused. I think they'll be. I think
I could see this one kind of getting ugly, maybe.
I think there's a potential. I think the problem is, I think it's going to be tough to slow down Penn State's offense. But here, my thing is, and why it might not get ugly, is I think, well, maybe it could. I would say Penn State's a little bit of a slower offense. I think they move the ball down the field. They're very good at it, and then they get in the end zone. They're very good at it. They're not going to score it in 3 plays. And so I think that brings the total scoring down a little bit, which could keep USC in the game because USC can score in 3 plays. So I think that helps. But man, I really like Penn State in general. I think Penn State's a really solid team. I've got them as the 6th best team in the country. And today I like them, man. I don't know. I don't know there's a weakness for Penn State, at least not offensively. I like them to avoid negative plays, run really well, pass really well. I mean, I've got them at 5.1 on the ground. I mean, that alone, ball game. I think you also have to worry about USC potentially turning the ball over. I think there's a lot more risk. Like USC is going to have to play a perfect game, I think, because that's the kind of team that Penn State is. Penn State's like I said, a long drives, methodical team. And their defense real solid. I mean, I say all that stuff about how good Penn State looks. Like I said, on the other side, USC can be real explosive. I mean, the model's got it at 8 point or 7.9 points in Penn State's favor. So not necessarily a blowout or anything. But in terms of like scoring potential, I think Penn State's got a little more of it. So I think it's kind of a 8 points, but leaning that Penn State could make it 14 or something like that. Kind of leaning in Penn State's direction there.
Yeah, I think it's a huge opportunity for USC. This game is massive for them, probably more massive than it is Penn State's, considering they're 3-2. They've got to win this game. While I think the defense is improved on USC, that O-line is starting to become the biggest concern. I think particularly on the left side, if I remember right, when I was watching it last week. But and to go up against Penn State's defense with those kind of concerns on the O-line, I don't like that matchup. I think Penn State offensively, they're definitely a lot better explosively. I still don't think they're all the way there yet. But I think it's going to be a pretty good game. I could see Penn State pulling away and this being a blowout. But on the USC side of things, I think if they were to win, it'll probably be much more closer. But I'm going to go Penn State. I just think they're the better overall team, top to bottom. I think USC has too many holes in certain areas. And at Miller Moss, beginning of the season, everybody was like, "Oh, look at this, we got another Heisman," and now he's kind of tapered off a little bit. And I think he threw like 3 or 4 picks last week. I can't remember, but he just hasn't looked as good as he was against LSU. So just on it.
Penn State's undefeated too. They're gonna have to they have to keep winning. This is a must win for Penn State to keep the undefeated season.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit on it a little bit, Chris. I forgot exactly what you had just mentioned now, and it made me think of it. But I think like, so I have Penn State as the 6th best team, USC is the 13th. I think like the best USC team is probably like, I don't know, just guessing, but like, let's say like number 10, like the best USC can do is play as the 10th best team in the country. Penn State, I think their worst is maybe like 13th or something. Then, so I think there's a potential where, if USC plays their best game on both sides of the ball and Penn State doesn't play as well on both sides of the ball, there's a scenario where USC is the better team. My problem is I think Penn State's got enough advantage on both sides of the ball that even if one side falls out, that's where you end up in maybe a game that could be close within a score. But I think it still leans in Penn State's favor. But now, we got our comment from Bus here in season and mentioned it too. The Big Ten team's really struggling going out west. So he's got that as his upset pick. But I don't. Now, if someone, I don't know if anyone has the full stats on it. So what's it? So like 1-8. But I think at the same time, I think all 8 losses, like they were the underdog anyway. Or something like that, or maybe in like 7 of them, like almost all of them, it was the underdog losing anyway. So it's hard to tell. Is it, we'd have to probably really look at like, okay, how'd they do against the spread or something like that. So Bus has got it as his upset pick. I'm sticking with Penn State because, like I said, I think Penn State's got. I think there are too many things that have to go right for USC to win this thing. Even though, I mean, I basically have it as a 1-score game. I think it is a 1-score game because there's a potential that it happens, but I think too many things need to happen. I'm going Penn State.
Yeah, huge game. There's an even bigger game. If I think it's a little further north, Ohio State, Oregon.
Also out west.
Hey, first ever top 3 game in Autzen, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
That's crazy. Yeah. And this is the first ever Big Ten time they face as a Big Ten pro. So, huge, bro. Biggest game of the night.
Yeah, but up to this date could be the biggest game of the year. Well, probably, I don't know if it's Bama, Georgia, or them.
Man, this one to me is like we could finally get to see what Will Howard's made of. He's never been on the national spotlight yet. So we finally get to see what Will Howard is. We kind of already know what Dylan Gabriel is, huh?
Yeah,
I think it's a consensus of what Gabriel is, and he's good, but he's not Bo Nix. I mean, that's the reality.
He's a 20-year vet, so we should know by now.
I feel like both quarterbacks are going to make some plays with their legs tonight. No, Ohio State only gave up 2 sacks so far on the whole year. Dylan Gabriel's been sacked 7 times. That's something to take note. We kind of seen Dylan Gabriel already in the national spotlight. He played in the Texas-Oklahoma game last year. So we know he's going to make some plays with his legs. Now Will Howard, that's my big question mark right now is Will Howard. That's how he's going to look. I think Chip Kelly's going to show a lot of things that honestly never seen on film all year. I don't think Ohio State's been really challenged so far this year, so they really didn't have to show too much. You're going to see a whole different game script from Ohio State's offense today. Now, I really like the wide receivers matchups in this game. We got Jeremiah Smith in a Mecca for Ohio State, and we got Tez Johnson and Evan Stewart for Oregon. Man, I'm curious to see which combo is going to ball out more. The wide receiver matchups, they got a chance to really hit with the pass game in this one. Will Howard and Dylan Gabriel, they're going to have to make some plays with their arms. But I already know how Ohio State's going to play, though. They're going to try to establish the run early in this one. They're going to try to play bully ball with Oregon. I think Oregon's staff's going to be up for it. I think they're going to be able to survive the first punch. And then I think this game's going to settle into like a slugfest. I don't know how y'all feel like this game script's going to go. I kind of see a slugfest. Defense making some stops and shit.
Yeah, I do
agree with that game script.
Yeah, I do too. I think, I mean, you talked about it before the show. I think eye test wise, Ohio State definitely looks like a team that's one of the best teams in the country. I think talent wise, it's obvious they have the most talent. But offensive. These are the offensive teams they've played according to Bill Connolly's S&P Plus. The rankings: 133rd, 104, 74th, 111th, and 96th. If you flip that onto the Oregon, the offenses they faced: 11th, 51, 93, 111th. So Oregon seems their offense has seemed to be a little bit more tested.
Mhm.
Ohio State's haven't. Oregon's pass rush is really good. They got some good D linemen. I'm like you. This is definitely a game that I think we're going to see. Almost. I think it's going to kind of be like the Alabama Georgia game, where like Alabama hit a bunch of stuff for a couple of weeks, and then just like hit Georgia with like all this new stuff that they hadn't seen on film.
I'm getting the vibes. Chip Kelly's gonna be
Yeah, because Chip Kelly's a wizard, especially in the run game. He hasn't really run Howard as much, and I think they're saving a lot of that for this game. So, like you said, I think Oregon's, how they handle that first punch.
Last week they went off on Iowa's defense on their run game.
Yeah.
So that's something they're going to try to establish that run game.
And to me, the biggest question, I think the biggest question to all of it is Will Howard. He's a quarterback that I haven't really believed in a preseason. I think he's looked really good this year, but this will be his first big test, and we'll see if he can ace it. And that to me is the biggest question. I'm going to regret this so much. I'm going to go Oregon. I think they're going to pull it off. I think it's going to be a super close game. I think it's going to come down to the last second. And, yeah, I'm going to go Oregon and watch them burn me again.
I can see them pulling off the upset. It's at home. It's at Austin. They're going to have to.
I definitely think the upset's on the table. And I agree with a lot of what you are saying. I think in a lot of ways, I'm not saying he's going to be the star or anything like that, but I think in a lot of ways, this is Will Howard's game to win or lose. Oregon's defense is a little better at what makes their defense good is stopping the pass. Can they slow down Ohio State enough? I've got Ohio State as best team in the country. Now, granted, I've got a couple of teams tied as the best team in the country, but that's a different story. Oregon's the 8th best team. I think Oregon's gonna have to lean on that pass defense strength of theirs and find a way to slow down Will Howard. The model only has Ohio State by 8, but that's with really solid offensive performance from Ohio State. Nothing like excessive, but kind of explosive, like a couple big plays. Solid passing, solid rushing, kind of just an overall solid performance from Ohio State. I think some big plays could help shift it further in Ohio State's favor than the 8 points. One question that I have, one thing that I'm looking at, and I'll be curious to watch, Ohio State's defense is really good at keeping teams out of the end zone, and I think that's going to be the problem for Oregon. I think Oregon might be able to move the ball, but I think 2 field goals is at least 1 field goal, maybe 2 field goals too many. Oregon's going to have to, if they get in scoring opportunities, they're going to have to punch it in the end zone.
Yeah, red zone stops is going to be considered wins. If you could get them to settle for a field goal in this game, I think it's going to turn into a slugfest.
And this could be
vibes I'm getting from it, at least,
This could be narrative, or not narrative, but this could be Will Howard's Heisman moment. This is the perfect kind of game to put him in the conversation.
Yeah, maybe he's not a flash type player though.
Yeah, no, I don't think he'll have that moment. I'm just saying, like it's a perfect opportunity for it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Ohio State in this one. I think there's a lot of things that I'm curious about for both teams that I want to see. And one interesting, like I was saying, Ohio State's really good at keeping teams out of the end zone. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's how you win games. I'm very curious to see Now, part of it is because of who Ohio State has played. They haven't needed to cause tackles for losses, things like that. They haven't needed to get in the backfield and disrupt things. I think I'd like to see that happen today, a little more than we have. So that's something I'm curious to see for Ohio State. The model's got Ohio State -8. What's the spread?
It's like 3.5, something like that.
Yeah,
Ohio
I'm
State.
kind of maybe a bold prediction for this one. I'm gonna go Ohio State on the road gets the win. That's not the bold part. I think that's a good prediction. I'm gonna go a little bold, and I might go like 10 points. I think this could be a 2-scorer. I think this could be a 2-scorer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that actually wouldn't surprise me one bit. I don't think.
Yeah.
It could be a late thing that like maybe this is a 1-score game throughout the second and third quarter, and then midway with we get into the fourth quarter, and Ohio State punches it in one more time. Now it's a 2-score game, and maybe in the last minute Oregon gets a score to bring it back down to 1 score, and then try an onside kick, something like that. It could be something like that. I think Oregon will have to do a little bit of a comeback late in this game if they want to have a chance to win it.
I think it would not shock me if Ohio State, if I didn't watch the game and somebody said, Ohio State blew Oregon out, I wouldn't be shocked one bit. I would be shocked if somebody come up to me and was like, Oregon, put it on them and blew them out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could go like either Ohio State wins a close one, or Ohio State could like put it on them. And the only way I see Oregon winning is it being a close game.
Yeah.
I just think Ohio State has way too much. I mean, they're capable of like doing like an Alabama, like jumping out to a 28-0 lead.
So we have 12 undefeated teams left, correct, guys?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So 2 of them are playing each other, Oregon, Ohio State. So after today, we got 11.
And then you never know what other upsets will happen out there.
Yep, we got Penn State on the road at USC. That could, who's some other undefeateds?
You can maybe pull it up.
Man, what you call it? I'm so fucked. It was a good show today, guys.
Yeah, really good show. Yeah. Really good show.
Hanging out with us.
Yep. Appreciate everybody jumping in. We had a good amount of viewers on this one. And we'll be back on Sunday. You join in season?
Yeah.
Yep. We'll do our Sunday show. If season don't get arrested at LSU for acting wild. He would never.
Be a wild one.
Hey, that's what we need to get. We need to get season to just take over the team, run on the field with a banner of our show's name.
Watch the
maybe I guess a pop off.
Yeah, we'll all pitch in and bond you out and all that.
Yeah. Take one for the team, man.
Yeah, come on, man. You got to do it for the team.
Oh, y'all have a good one. Y'all enjoy the games. Y'all enjoy college game day or big noon kickoff.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Let's get it.
Yep. Have a good one, y'all.